Hey, what's up, Funkaholics? I'm not quite sure what I was searching for, but I stumbled upon the world of Funko Pop tattoos, and I went down that rabbit hole for at least 2 hours, just because I couldn't believe what I was seeing, for good and bad reasons. Because some of these tattoos are really, really well done, and some of them are pretty bad. To the point where it would be like one of my worst nightmares to have one of these tattoos on me. Now, I'm somebody that really loves Funko Pops, obviously, but I just don't think I could have a Funko Pop tattoo, no matter how good it was. Like, maybe if Charlize Theron came up to me and said, I will marry you under one condition, that you get a Furiosa tattoo. Maybe I'd get one, maybe. And definitely no prenup involved. But I guess a Funko tattoo is the ultimate statement that lets the world know that you are a total Funko fanatic. Alright, let's take a deep dive into the world of Funko Pop tattoos. I actually really like this one. I think the colors came out really good. I like that they did it at an angle. And I love all the little highlights on it. I think the eyes look really good. They almost look wet. This is definitely one of the better ones I saw. This is Otto from the Stylistic plastic line. I think that's another thing that I like about it. Since it's not a pre-existing character, the Funko style doesn't look jarring to people that don't know what Funko Pops are. This just looks like a little ghoul mechanic. Here's Pennywise the Clown holding Georgie's severed arm. Pretty big on somebody's bicep. The artwork actually looks pretty good, except for the cracks on the hairline. Kind of look like varicose veins a little bit. But overall it's pretty good, although this is kind of creepy. I don't know what I'd think if I saw this on somebody's arm. Here's Iron Man, looking a little sad, but I do like that it's at an angle, kind of like the Otto one. Just makes it look way more dynamic, and it's got great shading on it. It does make it look like 3D. Making them at an angle definitely makes them look better. Here's the Queen of Hearts, and damn, I mean, this is pretty big. I think that's somebody's thigh. And I don't know, was Alice in Wonderland that popular of a movie? And the Queen looks pretty sad looking here. It's not badly done, it's just, man, it's such a random character. And the way they did the eyes, there's just something not right about them. They're not really that round. She looks like she's about to start crying. Just kind of a weird one to me. And man, did they screw up the Joker's nose in this one. That's all I see. That's all I can look at when I look at this. Pretty sure these are tattoos. But maybe this is like a marker drawing on somebody's skin. It kind of looks like that, but I'm pretty sure these are tattoos. For this person's sake, I hope they were just messing around with markers, but I don't know. The Batman doesn't look too bad, but you know, if these are like on both of your forearms, I would imagine that you'd kind of want the shading like on the back to match. One of them's red and one of them's pink. Just looks really weird. I would hate to have this on my arms. And here we got Stan Lee as Captain America. It's a good idea. It's done pretty well. I mean, the shading's pretty decent. Although the shading on the face just kind of makes it look like the skin's bruised up a little bit. I feel like the lines could have been a little smoother on the glasses, but yeah, overall it's not bad. It's just so big, man. This is on somebody's back. And I don't know if this is a man or a woman, but it'd be kind of hard to perform with Captain America Stan Lee looking at you like this. I'd be like, why don't we do missionary style this time? I really like all the colors in this Doctor Strange pop. I like the glow effect on the face and the eyes from the energy from his hands. And the way the artist did the hands, it looks really good. They didn't put any kind of solid black lines to really make the energy look like they're coming from the hands. Really awesome work. And the artist did a good job of actually making those eyes look perfectly round. I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges with these Funko Pop tattoos, is making perfect round circles. And he did a good job with this one. And man, is this one hard for me to look at. Like, this is someone's back, and it's huge. And none of these characters seem to go together, really. Superman looks like he's trying to pinch one off. Not sure why you would put Lionel on the left, because his hair like swoops pretty hard to the right. You'd think they would have put him on the right so they can actually make his hair look like the Pop does. Logan doesn't look too bad. But yeah, this is just awful. Like, I would never take my shirt off if this was on my back. I just couldn't. I guess one of the good things about this tattoo is that it's on his back, so he doesn't have to look at it all the time. If he ever decides that, you know, I don't like Funko Pops anymore. Crazy. Now this Back to the Future themed one is awesome. Great colors. I love the way they put the DeLorean in the back and the clock tower with the electricity. Michael J. Fox on the hoverboard. Again, like the other really good ones, these Funko Pops are a little bit at an angle, which just makes them look way more dynamic. And I like how instead of just having like the colors gradiate out, They kind of frame this tattoo with the lightning and the arrow on the bottom. It just looks really good. And here is another awesome one. It looks like it's on somebody's calf, and the artist really worked with the shape of it by making the building kind of curve in. Batman's at an angle, making him look really good, and he shot from the bottom. This one is pretty solid. This Beetlejuice one is pretty masterful. Like, if I were forced to get a Funko Pop tattoo, the only way it would be bearable to me is if the work is of this quality. I mean, this is just awesome. And here is the classic Guns N' Roses Appetite for Destruction cover, just done with Funko Pops instead of the skulls. And I don't know, I personally think the skulls are cooler. If I were going to do this, I would do it with the skulls, but just make them like a lot more detailed and realistic looking. And I'm not sure if it's just the angle, but Slash looks really squished. His face and hat look really distorted, and the banner on the bottom looks just way too small, but it could just be the angle of this, not sure. And here's 3 horror icons, all on the same person's arm, and they're not too bad. If you notice, these ones are also a little bit at an angle. There's nothing really wonky about them. The Michael Myers one is definitely the weakest though. They made the pop look almost female. Not sure if it's those lips or those eyebrows or what. But yeah, there's something just off about that one. Here's an example of one that's dead on, where it's not really at an angle, but it's just done so well that it looks good. And I think that Baby Groot kind of already looks like a Funko Pop, so I think to somebody that doesn't know Funko Pops, this just looks like a Baby Groot or a toddler Groot, whatever. But yeah, I think it's a good choice to pick this design as a tattoo. And this is definitely one of the best ones I saw. Even though the right arm looks a little off, and so does the gun in that arm, but it's just done so well. Like, look how realistic that head looks. Just quality work that makes this Funko Pop tattoo kind of like transcend the cringe barrier. Because yeah, I mean, I'm still having a hard time with, Funko Pop tattoos. Like, I'd have to lose a pretty big bet to get one, but when it's done this well, it just ends up looking pretty damn cool. Here's another person that decided to get a whole bunch of horror icons on themselves. And it's not pictured here, but that appears to be like a Predator on the arm too, if you look at the bottom right of the Freddy one. And honestly, the Predator Funko Pop is pretty ugly. All these look pretty ugly to me. I can't imagine why you would get these characters, like if you're a big fan, as Funko Pops instead of some kind of like cool collage of them all in like a more realistic style. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be that bad if it was done just as good as that Rocket Raccoon one, but these aren't. These definitely look like something you see in somebody's sketchbook when they got bored some afternoon and decided to draw some Funko Pops. Not bad. The animated series Joker. There's nothing I could say is horrible about it. There's nothing I could say is great about it either. This Jurassic Park tattoo is pretty awesome. I mean, look at how good that T-Rex looks. And the Funko Pops look great. Just incredible shading everywhere. Not sure why they decided to combine a realistic looking T-Rex with the Funko Pops. You'd think that they would have used the Funko Pop T-Rex, but maybe this person didn't want to have like that big of a Funko Pop on themselves, so they decided to go with a realistic one. And then yeah, it does kind of work with the Funko Pops. It doesn't look bad or anything. And yeah, like I've said before, I think when the work is this good, it makes the Funko Pops passable as tattoos. And here's Captain America with Thor's hammer. Just like the Funko Pop, I think this design is kind of lame. Like, maybe he should have been more in an action pose. Maybe uppercutting with the hammer. Definitely should have been more battle worn. And the shield should be chipped like in the movie. Maybe some lightning. You are worthy, but this tattoo isn't. This Harley Quinn looks pretty good. I like that little background they gave her. All the lines seem pretty clean. The nose might be done a little harshly, like maybe they shouldn't have shaded it so dark, but it's not bad. I would like to know though if this person got this tattoo before they saw Suicide Squad or after. They switched the design of this Jason up from the original Pop a little bit by making him raise the machete. And they cut off the feet, which I think was kind of a good choice too. And I think the shading on the hockey mask is done really well. This one's not bad for what it is. This Reptar looks really good with that white outline and a little bit of gray shading behind that white outline. It makes this look like a sticker. Really kind of a simple but clever idea to make this not look so flat. It's pretty cool. Overall, this one's pretty good. I think it would have been cooler if they would have tried to make the actual lightsaber glowing and have some of that glow reflecting off the face and eyes. It would have looked cooler. And similar to the Harley Quinn one, I think they went a little overboard with the nose. It's kind of all I can look at. Like, I know the work is pretty decent, like the hair looks nice, but the nose is just shaded too dark. And this one looks like it's not finished or something, Because look at the severed arm part. Look how realistic and kind of bright and finished that looks compared to the rest of it. You'd think that the black eyes would be one of the darkest parts, but no, it's that severed arm. And this guy might be the only guy on the entire planet that has a Funko Pop cereal tattoo. I know it's mainly a Pennywise tattoo, but it is designed from the cereal. And the Pennywise doesn't look too bad, but that harsh black line, I mean, it looks like they scarred the dude up a little bit. I think this will definitely look better if he gets it colored in with some nice shading on the face. I think this one could be pretty good. And here's another one that, I don't know, just looks like somebody's Crayola marker doodle. And oh man, I would be so pissed if I went in for an Elvira tattoo and got this. Like her hair looks all weird, like the bang looks off to the side. It's just, the hair's all wonky. And then the way they did her face, like the cheeks look puffy and the chin's up, and I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with that background. It kind of looks like, I mean, like he's burnt or something. And look at the eyelashes. I mean, this is fucked up. And here's the Smuggler's Bounty Boba Fett. Definitely one of the coolest pops of all time. And since Boba Fett has a helmet on, it doesn't register as a pop right away. Like, we know it's a pop, but I think a normal person is just going to see this and think it's a stylized, kind of cool looking Boba Fett. So it was a good choice for a tattoo, I think. And it's done really well. I love the shading on this one. Definitely one of the better ones. This guy got a Dr. Manhattan Funko Pop tattoo. Really liking the background. Not sure about the quote. I mean, the quote is cool, but those letters are so harsh. But the work overall is pretty nice. Except for, you know, he went with Dr. Manhattan with those little panties on. Like, in the movie, he is full cocking it. I mean, he is just, the cock is out. And here is Chef Deadpool. The artwork looks not bad. I mean, maybe a little rough here and there, but all that shit in the background kind of hides that. And it is kind of like a wackier kind of tattoo, so the pop style isn't a bad choice for this. Again, like I've said before, to a non-Funko fan, this just looks like a wacky, cartoony depiction of Deadpool, and not necessarily like a straight-up Funko Pop tattoo. And in case you weren't already sick of seeing literally a billion potted Groots at every store around the time that Guardians of the Galaxy first came out, you can have it on your body, so you can like keep seeing it every day. And one of those eyeballs is definitely bigger than the other, man. That would bug the shit out of me. And here we have King in the North. Definitely think that the sword should have been behind the banner. But overall, this one's pretty good. Like, it's done really, really well. And this right here is definitely one of my favorite ones. I really like what the tattoo artist did with the Funko Pop aesthetic by adding those sketch lines to it and tying all the characters in with that cool, colorful background. So it doesn't just look like a bunch of random kind of pops. And these are cartoon characters, so the cartoony style really fits. Overall, I think this is a great one. If this were like super tiny, it wouldn't be so bad, but this looks like it's kind of big. And I don't know, man, it just looks like something a pedophile would get. I want to say that of all the characters, there was more Pennywise pop tattoos than anything else. I'm not sure what that says about humans. This one's a little different inside that diamond shape. I think this is based off of I think it's Amazon exclusive Pennywise holding the arm. It's done pretty good. I just wouldn't want this. The Yoda pop head is done really well, but what bugs the shit out of me is that the weight of There Is No Try is so much lighter than the Do or Do Not. That just really bugs me. This Heath Ledger Joker ain't bad. That right arm seems a little too long, and I'm not a fan of all the ha 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 ha's everywhere. I think that's kind of lame, but the good thing is it distracts from those other god-awful tattoos that this guy has. This He-Man and Skeletor are pretty straightforward, just kind of flat, but the shading is done pretty well on them. They're okay for what they are, but to me, just kind of boring. Not bad, but I think they forgot her nose. This Harry Potter is one of the better ones I saw, and he looks like he's actually pretty small, which I think is the right direction to go with Funko Pop tattoos. Making it nice and small just looks kind of cute instead of like, holy shit, what did you do to yourself? Really like the glare on his glasses and the shading overall. If you're going to get a straight up full-bodied Funko Pop tattoo with nothing else around it, this is definitely the style you want to go. And oh man, this Ash, you know what this guy looks like? He looks like he just got his wisdom teeth pulled out. I mean, look at that cheek. I mean, he looks all swollen. The hair is bad. Everything is bad about this one. That background, I don't know what you would call that shape of those eyes, but that's not a circle. Look at the nose. I mean, this has got to be one of the worst ones. It looks like it was done in somebody's kitchen, man. I mean, this is just so bad. Like, I would be so pissed if this was on my arm. I can't quite put my finger on why I don't like this Thanos. Maybe they just went overboard with all the black lines instead of just like using shading. I don't know. It just kind of looks like a big blob to me. Man, I guess Elvira in pop form is just hard to tattoo because this one is just awful too. Look at the shape of the face. It looks like poor Elvira got hit with a frying pan. Look at the nose. It's just, oh man, it's just so bad. This Post Malone is pretty good. There's not too much shading, but what there is does make it look pretty good. There's nothing really wonky about it. But you know, I'd be really cautious about getting, like how old is Post Malone? Like 22, 23, maybe 24? Getting somebody that young tattooed on myself, because you never know, man. Post Malone could go on to do something just insane, and now you have him on your body for the rest of your life. And damn, I don't know if that other Ash tattoo or this one is worse, but this one is got to be one of the worst ones too. I mean, look at the way they did the face and the chin, like what is up with those cheeks. I wouldn't even be surprised if this was the same artist, because the background looks a little similar. And I'm saying artist in quotation marks because this guy's a terrorist. But I don't know, man. This is just fucking horrible. Luke and the Wampa, not bad. I mean, the actual quality of work is really good, but I don't know, man. Is this scene really that cool? Like, is it really that cool to have, you know, matching tattoos like that? I don't know. And here we got Superman stealing the Joker's girl, but I don't know. They made her look so rigid. Like, I don't know. I know it's supposed to be a pop, but, you know, this is a tattoo. You know, they can, you know, make her look like she's not like a real doll or something. Like, it's just, it's weird. It looks like Superman went out and got a real doll of Harley Quinn, and he's flying around with it now. And what is up with Superman's nose? Looks really weird. This is one of those ones where the more I look at it, the more I see just things that are weird about it. This is another one that looks like it was done in somebody's kitchen, man. Just horrible. At first glance, I was like, oh, this Freddie Mercury one ain't bad. But then I saw how they put the crown on there, and it just looks off. Like the crown either should have been a little bit bigger, or they should have tilted it a little bit more so it kind of looks like it's actually on his head, and not just like it's a cutout of Freddie Mercury, and then they cut out the crown and just kind of put it on top. It just doesn't look like it's on his head. I mean, but overall, like, it's really good work. It's just the way that they added that crown looks just off. And it kind of would ruin this tattoo for me. I think this is one of the better ones. I think this is a character that kind of lends itself to be tattooed as a Funko Pop. I really like the shading of it. And they made it not so straight on, so it looks a little bit more dynamic. This is a pretty cool idea. I never saw Moana, so I'm not sure if that's like supposed to be Mother Earth on the left there, and like a magma monster or whatever that's supposed to be on the right. But I like that they combine the two. It looks cool, and it's overall well done. Okay, so this one is one of the better ones for sure. Stitch already kind of looks like a pop, so it's a good character to do as a pop tattoo. I really like the choice of the yellow background to contrast with the blue, and it's just executed perfectly. I mean, the longer you look at this one, the more you appreciate the craftsmanship of this. And this is why Funko Pops don't have pupils. You think the solid black eyes are creepy? Look at this. I know it's done on purpose though, and that's why I kind of like this one. I really like where the artist decided to put really, really heavy black lines. They took that pop aesthetic, kind of made it their own, made it something different, yet still a pop. And it's kind of funny. It's kind of cute. Look, I like Pulp Fiction and all, but man, this is bad. Look at the way they did the gun. What is that? It looks more like a gray dick and balls. This is pretty good, but why did they not put like some white in the eyes? It just looks like he has hairy eyes. I see a little bit of white around the Batman logo, and I know white is one of those colors that it's just kind of fade out anyway. But maybe that's why, like, I don't know, you shouldn't have picked this design, or maybe they could have added some shading or something. It's just the fact that you can just see the dude's hair on the eyeballs part there, just, I don't know, it just kind of ruins it. And lastly, gonna end it with Rocket Raccoon and Potted Groot. But I think this Potted Groot is done really well, and I like that they decided to go with a color palette of pretty much just browns and purples. And I also think both of these characters lend themselves into pop form because Rocket already does have a big head and a small body, so this was a good choice. And I love that they're not just straight on, right? And I really like the way they did the eyes. Just great shading on this one. And yeah, I think it's one of the better ones. Alright guys, so what do you think about Funko Pop tattoos? Would you ever get one? I know I wouldn't. Do you have one? Hopefully you don't have one of the ones I talked shit on because, you know, that's pretty mean. I'm sorry if you do. But yeah, I think trying to do a Funko Pop tattoo just straight on, like how the glams look, is almost setting yourself up and the tattoo artist for failure, because the dimensions and like the elements of a Funko Pop design are so specific, right? And making perfectly round circles is very hard, and perfectly round curves for the chin and jawline is very hard, right? And if you don't get that right, the whole thing is just going to look off. That's why I think the better ones were at angles or had a very hyper-realistic style to them and shading, like this Rocket Raccoon. There's parts about this that aren't perfect, but the way that it's shaded and the hyper-realism makes you forgive that. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Think twice, maybe think 100 times before you go get a Funko Pop tattoo, and take it easy.